I hate to be the bearer of bad news and, spread some bad news to you. If you're having a good day, I'm sorry in advance because this is going to piss you off more than likely because it's absolutely stupid. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of this whole story, if you could just subscribe. A lot of people are watching the videos and they're not subscribing, and it would just help out me and the channel tremendously, and I would appreciate it very much. So on June 13th, LAPD responded to a wellness check that was called in by this woman's neighbors at an apartment. She was screaming because the New York Knicks had, won the NBA Finals. She was happy about it. She was in there doing nothing wrong, celebrating with her dog. Her dog had a cute little Knicks jersey on, and they were just celebrating. Like that was their team, and their team won the championship. This is amazing, right? So these officers knock on the door, never once explain to her why they're there, and in under 2 minutes, mag dump the woman's dog and kill it. That is absurd. That should have never happened. They never once explained why they were there. All that they were worried about was this dog and how dangerous it was. Now, I'll play devil's advocate here for a second, and the dog is a pretty decently sized dog. It's a St. Bernard, Golden Retriever, and a Doodle mix, okay? Which isn't really the mixture of the worst dog in the world. It's by no means a hellhound. I personally probably wouldn't have shit my pants as soon as I saw this dog, as the officer does. But they finally released the body cam footage for it, and this whole week leading up, before they released this footage, they were saying that the dog was, angry, and it charged after the officer, and he really didn't have any other course of action that he should have taken, or could have taken, for that matter. Which, now that the footage is out, we can clearly see that that is horseshit. It is a load of crap. The dog was not doing anything wrong.
Police department.
Yeah.
LAPD.
It's LAPD.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, can you put your dog in?
Put your dog away, please. Put your dog away. Put your dog away.
So they knock on the door, and the woman obviously answers, and it takes her a little bit because she's not the one that called the cops, okay? She was not expecting them to come to her house. The dog comes out with her as a normal dog does, doing dog things. And the first idea that the officer has is to draw his service weapon. The dog is still standing in the doorway, and the dude has his service weapon in his hand. That is absolutely absurd. And by no means should somebody with this little of a temperament and fear of everything in life, apparently, have a badge. If you're going to get that scared of a dog to where you're going to instantly pull your gun as soon as you see it, how can you protect civilians? How can you keep people safe? So let's just jump back to the devil's advocate thing here, because I understand being a police officer, it's a very tense situation, right? You can't trust nobody, especially whenever you're on the job and you're going into somebody's house and you have no clue. You have no clue what they're doing, what they have in there, what their dog is normally like, right? You have no idea. So I'll play the devil's advocate here. But let's look at what they are supposed to do if they actually encounter a hostile dog. Because the woman obviously was not hostile in any way. There was going to be no issues there. So LAPD obviously has things set for if a situation like this occurs. If you run into a hostile dog, obviously shooting it is not the number one thing to do. That is not the main course of action to immediately jump to, is to pull your service weapon and mag dump the dog, right? So they obviously say that you need to use voice commands, chemical spray, baton, fire extinguisher, taser, beanbag shotgun, and kicking. You use one or all or however many you can do before you shoot the dog. Now, obviously, there's going to be times where, you can't do these things, right? You can't do these. If the dog was, growling, showing its teeth, charging you, and it actually bites you, it latches down on you or something, means for shooting it. 100%. I'll agree with that. Then you really can't put yourself in a situation where you're going to get hurt like that. And the dog's life is not more valuable than a person's in the eyes of the law. It's just not. Okay, let's just face the facts here. But the sheer fact that Buddy saw the dog and the dog did nothing wrong and he instantly had his service weapon drawn, you're the problem. That police officer is the problem here. And I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to really understand that. Anybody with a developed frontal lobe will be able to tell you that this is not the right course of action. This is not what should have happened the second that you saw this dog.
Put your dog away. Fuck. Dude. I ain't getting bit by that, bro.
Is the dog put away?
Please put it down. It's all good. It's all good. We
Not
don't.
aggressive.
And while he has his service weapon in his hand, she obviously immediately realizes the situation that's going on here, right? As anybody would. She immediately takes the dog back inside, okay? She follows their orders, put the dog back inside. She shuts the door, and dude is talking like a frat boy. You are not talking like a professional law enforcement officer. And he almost sounds like he's like somewhat okay with the fact that he will shoot this dog. It's fine. If I have to, I'll just shoot the dog. You know, it's not a big deal. Like, what? What are you doing, dude? So in a sense of urgency, she probably went inside and was having a hard time getting this dog put up the right way. I mean, she really does not even know why the police are here. Like I said, they still have not stated what the purpose for them knocking on the woman's door is. So for all she knows, if she takes too long in the house, they're going to think she's tampering or that she's doing something to cover something up or who, God only knows what is going through her head. And for fair reason. She has no clue why they are here. So obviously she doesn't get the dog put away in the appropriate manner and it slips out of the door again. And if you don't want to see this, just skip forward a little bit because it is like kind of hard to watch. Especially since it happened for just no reason at all. This cop is just a complete brain dead moron.
Dog put away?
Please put it down. It's all good. It's all good. We
Not
don't.
aggressive. Huge. You're not. Put him in.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, but I never once saw the dog, show its teeth or growl or start bolting towards the dude or, anything of that sort. So it really was just completely uncalled for. Yeah, I mean, that's simply what it was. It was completely uncalled for. And even looking at the other person's body cam footage, you can see that the dog never bolts after the dude. It never once charges him. It slowly walks. And for God's sake, the dog did what dogs do and it barked like once or twice. Jesus Christ, dude.
Is the dog put away?
Sorry, he's
It's all
not,
good.
he's
It's all
not,
good. We
he's
don't.
not aggressive.
Huge. You're not. Put him in.
So, I mean, like I said, okay, we'll even jump back to the devil's advocate thing. You're scared. The dog somewhat starts walking towards you. It doesn't take off after you, but it does start walking towards you and it barks. It's a big dog. It's going to have a scary bark. At least the officer from the other point of view is smart enough to have their taser out. You don't see him with his service weapon out. That dude's obviously like a lot smarter than the other guy. That poor dog, dude. If it had just went the other way, it never would have been killed. And for some reason, the universe saw it fit for this dog to go the other way towards the imbecile dumbass cop that had his service weapon pulled for whatever reason. So we'll still play devil's advocate, dude. Like, if you're scared, and maybe the dude had a traumatic experience as a kid with a dog or something. I don't know. I'm just, just brainstorming some shit right here. I really can't think of any good reason to shoot the dog for the dog acting like, a dog. It really makes no sense. There's no good explanation for why he did this. There's no good explanation for why he even had the weapon pulled in the first place. And if you look at the body cam footage, the dude is even more of a dumbass because he has the weapon pointed directly at his partner and the innocent woman. It is a wonder that he did not accidentally shoot somebody in the crossfire. I don't know who trained this dude or who thought that it was good to give him a weapon, but obviously he cannot be trusted. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous behavior. Let's put it in simpler terms. If you're one of these people that still, isn't really on the side of the people that think like me, it isn't on the side of the people that are pissed off because of this. If this was a health call and, maybe firefighters came, and they knocked on the woman's door, do you think they would have killed the dog for it being there? Just for it being a normal dog? Absolutely not. That wouldn't have happened. But because it was a police officer and he had a service weapon, he chose to use it on the dog. Even though he had other things that he could have used. I mean, obviously they all have tasers. It would have been so much better to just tase the dog. It probably still would have been injured. It wouldn't have been good. Nobody would have thought that would have been good either. But it's better than the dog losing its life and for this family to lose their pet over nothing. Over nothing happening at all. Nobody was in danger. So yeah, I've just been following this for, I don't know, about a week. Ever since I saw the family post something. I saw a repost of it where the family had mentioned that this, this idiot officer had taken the life of their dog. And then they finally released the body cam footage for it. So I wanted to post a video about it. It just pisses me off, dude. Okay, I grew up with dogs. I've had dogs almost my entire life. I have had times where the police have came to my house when I had a dog. You know what the first thought of that police officer was? To reach down and pet the dog and ask me what its name was. Not to shoot it. You have got to be completely brain dead. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. Moral of the story is this dumbass doesn't need to have a badge. He doesn't need to be a police officer, and he sure as hell doesn't need to be carrying around a service weapon. Because he does have the immunity as a police officer that he can do things like this. And the punishment's not going to be as bad. And I'm not against cops. By any means, I'm not against cops, okay? Like I said, devil's advocate. They have a very, very, very tough job. And it is very intense for them. They are in danger constantly, dude. But if you're going to do this, if you're going to act like this and you're going to resort to these kind of things, you don't need to have a badge. Because what if something like severely intense was happening where you could injure a human, where you could kill an innocent person because you don't know how to evaluate a situation and go about it the right way? So yeah, I just wanted to make a video on this. I'm sorry if this pissed you off, but I mean, people do need to know about it. If I knew the guy's name and I had his face, I would blast him on here, put a picture of him, but they have not released it, I guess for his safety. But I appreciate you guys watching.